There are lots of people out there, a lot of black people, but a lot of white people, too. Something does feel different this time. I was talking to Eric Garner's mother, and she thinks something feels different, too. What do you make of it?
You know, I think that this movement is finally catching up to the conversations that we've known from our culture experts. Ava DuVernay has been leading an effort in Hollywood. You're seeing more images of Black lives, but this has been a consistent effort from organizers over the years, showing that Black lives are actually to be dignified. And the reality is more people are understanding that instead of trying to reform a system, a policing system that has been around for hundreds of years to oppress Black people, it's time to move resources into communities, whether it's healthcare, education, mental health services, domestic violence intervention, because we know that those are proven solutions to actually create more safe communities and healthy communities. And it's time to actually get rid of the policing system as we know it.
I'm going to ask my control room to put up various charts and polls that we've got, all of which show the same thing. And that is that support, first of all, Americans understand that African Americans face something different at the hands of police than white people do. Support for Black Lives Matter has increased, according to this chart you're looking at, as much as it has in the last 2 weeks, as much as it has in the last 2 years. A majority of Americans support the Black Lives Matter movement by a 28% margin, up from a 17-point margin before the recent waves of protests started. At some juncture, I'm getting emails from kind of every business I have anything to do with. They're actually saying the words Black Lives Matter in their emails, in their statements. Starbucks is now saying that employees can wear Black Lives Matter, insignia if they need to. It's symbolic, but it means something when people are understanding that to say Black Lives Matter, to have that shirt, to have that sign on your lawn, isn't actually a controversial matter.
Right. And what you're seeing is that people are actually taking action. And the people in the organizations and the infrastructures that have power within this country are actually using their power to shift the conversation to Black lives. I think it's encouraging to see more white people out there on the streets protesting, because Black folks, we have been protesting from the very beginning, since some of our ancestors have been here under enslavement. And so I think as you're seeing this collective movement, hopefully you'll see even more policy changes. Fortunately, the Minneapolis Police Department, the Minneapolis City Council voted to figure out a way to divest from the policing department. You see Los Angeles reducing their police budget by around $100 million to reinvest in communities. And it has become a unifying conversation. Now, I want to be clear, it's still going to take a long time, a sustained effort for us to actually have major nationwide wins. I mean, you see that in the abortion rights movement. You see that in so many movements that have overwhelming support. However, we still have to have the sustained effort to ensure that we have the right elected leaders in office.